Yo, 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 welcome to the stream. Welcome, everybody. All walks of life, welcome to, to the KillJoy Jake stream. We're gonna get crazy talking about Jaws today a little bit. I'm very excited to get into this. First, I gotta adjust my chair. Say hi to everybody, of course, too, because that's just, we gotta do that every time. It is also freezing in my room today, so I got my little Guardians of the Galaxy blanket, just vibing with that. It's awesome. I am comfy as all hell. We have Jason Dyer also having a hilarious little quote here. Jason, this is fantastic. Vaughn, what we are dealing with here is a perfect. I'm not even gonna read this. That makes me sound so full of myself. Jason, that's hilarious though. I love it. Thank you so much. That means a lot. It's fantastic. I love it. So good quote there. Just when you thought it was safe to go back to the theater, please tell me this isn't actually happening. I like it, Ellie. I like all the quotes. It's good. It's good stuff here. Good stuff. I don't think I put any tags on this stream, which is a fun fact. But we're going to be talking a little bit about Jaws. Talking about what is going on in the Jaws space. Is there going to be a Jaws requel? That's something fun to talk about as well. Which honestly, it's something that is pretty controversial, is what it seems. Pretty controversial to all. So, but I think it might be fun to talk about a little bit. Okay, so who else is here? What's up, Denisha? Hey, everybody! Happy 4th of July! Happy 4th, Denisha. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. What's up, Extron Gaming? Happy long weekend to you. We got President Biden here. What's up, Lei TheNerd? Hi, how's it going? What's up? How's it hanging? How's everyone doing today? Daniels J2004, how are you doing today? I'm fantastic. I'm drinking my coffee. I'm waking up a little bit, which I know sounds a little ridiculous for 3 p.m. But your boy's been going. What's up, Ghost Mysteries? Happy 4th. Welcome. Hardcore Jaws fan. Awesome. I'm so excited to get into Jaws. Like just talking about the wonderful first movie and some of the sequels. I'm excited to get into it, Michael. It's gonna be good. Denisha says, "Happy 4th. Hope you're popping fireworks. We're having fun here. We're doing a little grill out later tonight, so I'm excited." I'm not gonna read that. But yes, we have, what's up, Kirsten? What's up? Howdy, hey. So I also, of course, I couldn't talk about sharks without one of my favorite YouTubers who also talks a little bit about sharks a lot on his page. We recently discussed some shark stuff over on there. We have Carter, Scott, and Alan here. What is going on, my dude?
What's up? Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Are we good? Is this working? Is it sound okay? Because I know last time it was quite brutal.
Yeah, no, you sound great. It's all good.
Cool.
I love the shirt. I love the pop. You came prepared for this stream. This is awesome.
I'm ready. I got my notes. I watched the whole franchise, and then I watched a Jaws spinoff last night.
There's a spinoff? Oh, no way.
It's like a 1995. It's called Cruel Jaws.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, but yeah.
I know of that, but I've never watched it before.
Coffee.
Nice, yes.
And then you said talk a little bit about Jaws and shark films on my page, which I really haven't done, but for anyone out there who's interested, I do have the whole Jaws franchise reviews coming soon. So
heck yeah, there you go, man.
And a ranking, but I feel like the ranking is going to be pretty similar to most people's.
Yeah. So that sounds like a great place to kind of start this conversation. I mean, of course, since we're talking about the franchise in general, how would you rank them, I guess, starting from the bottom up?
Okay, well, so I wrote both of them down because I was just interested to see what most people thought, and I kind of was looking at like Letterboxd and just other YouTube reviews, whether it be from 10 years ago or pretty recent ones, and most of them came out to be pretty dang similar. My fourth place is Jaws: The Revenge.
Yeah,
and that's also the Rotten Tomatoes has 0% still. So
And it's well earned. It's it's a pretty it's a dumpster fire of a film, I would say. So it's pretty wild. We have Lei TheNerd becoming a member over here. Thank you so much. Oh my god, I appreciate that. Lei is both now a Patreon member and part of the KillJoy cult over on the channel members. So real quickly before we get into the rest of this ranking, I do want to thank all of my absolutely wonderful channel members real quick. We have our Ghostface tier patrons. Thank you to Shazeb, Gregory, Michael, Chris, Baby on a Plane, Kirsten, Jen, Carrie, Valerie, Jordan, James, Necessary Distraction, Dino, Kirsten, Smells Like Teen Horror, Jacob, Justin, Michael, Hawkins, House of Horror, Denisha, Maverick, Easton, and Larry and Jennifer. That's a mouthful right there. Thank you to all you wonderful people. Thank you so much. Thank you. We have my Jason tier supporters as well, a little higher up on the ladder there. Nikki, Lee, Margaret, Justin, Jesse, Tabbitha, Jason, Flash Skywalker 13, and Ruckus. Thank you guys so much for your support this month, as well as my Freddy tier patrons, top supporters here, Hunting for Entertainment, The Bearded Entertainment, and Chrissy Blackwell. Chrissy just upgraded from Jason to the Freddy tier, so thank you so much to all of you guys. You're also fantastic. We appreciate you so much. But getting back to all the Jaws stuff, because this is something I've been wanting to talk about on this page for a while. So 4th place, we have Jaws: The Revenge. I pretty much agree with you, Carter. Now, is there anything positive about this film that you do like, though? Just to kind of get into it.
I'll just say the Rotten Tomatoes ranking, in last place, it goes the order of release. Jaws 1 is in first place, Jaws 2, Jaws 3, Jaws 4. That's how Rotten Tomatoes ranks it. But I personally I struggled. I went back and forth between Jaws 3D and Jaws: The Revenge, simply because Revenge has slightly better, visuals. Like, I just like seeing a practical shark. Anytime there's a practical anything, I'm always going to be more intrigued.
That really kills it in the third movie, doesn't it?
Yeah, and there's, in the fourth film, there's only 2 kills, so it's like you got that. You got 2 kills in that film, and I think there's like 5 or 6 in 3, so I'm like, okay, at least there's more kills in 3, and hey, there's Dennis Quaid, which it's fun to see.
That's kind of cool, right? It's like
and even though they brought back Lorraine Gray, who played the Ellen Brody in Jaws 4, it's still not worth it. And obviously spoilers, but the opening of Jaws 4, I don't know if you remember, but killing off the youngest Brody kid, I just absolutely hated that.
It's like, what? What is going on here? Yeah, no, it's nuts, man. Jaws should have been a standalone film. We have Coop de Oof saying that. I pretty much agree. I don't really know why it's a franchise. The sequel, like Jaws 2, is like not bad, but like 3 and 4
too, but
it's not the worst. We have Michael saying Jaws 3 is his least favorite. So that's something I want to talk about that in a sec, because I honestly think I might put 3 at the bottom, which is like that's a tough call, right?
It is. Yeah, I think it honestly it could change tomorrow type of thing too, where it's like, well, actually, based on which one you would rewatch, I think out of rewatchability, I would rewatch 3. But I just like the practical effects, and I do like Michael Caine.
Just kind of not giving an absolute, not giving an F about anything.
Just doing Michael Caine.
I love when the shark comes after him and he's just like, "Holy shit!" Like he delivers it like the most like deadpan. Yeah. I don't know. There's just something so funny about that. Yeah. It's great. It's not great. I really think Jaws: The Revenge is just it's a so bad it's good kind of movie. Like, I don't know. I at least find a little bit of enjoyment in that film because of that reason. But with Jaws 3, like, it's genuinely just kind of boring at times. Like, you're just like, okay, I don't care about anything that's going on screen at points in it. But there is some cool, like, honestly, in all 4 Jaws films, there's at least like one cool sequence, I think, at least for all of them. I will give it that. But I pretty much agree with that. Yeah, you could 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 4, 3. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I can't argue with that ranking. Pretty much. We lost him. He'll be back. No problem. But what else do you guys think? What else do? Revenge slightly had a better story than 3. Yeah. Pretty. Sure. We got you back. What's up?
Click the wrong thing.
Oh, you're all good. I like to smack my microphone sometimes when we're live too. It's always a fun time. But yeah. So obviously that's how we feel this way about the franchise. It's kind of strange. But of course, we have this amazing first movie to lead it off, and it's an open and shut case kind of movie, which is fantastic. And I believe you said it was like one of your favorite horror films of all time.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds weird enough to say it. It's one of the first movies I ever saw. Like, I was 3 years old. So,
you watched that at 3, man.
Yeah, and it didn't scare. I guess I'll just tell that whole story now, but it didn't scare me until I was like 5 or 6. Like, I just watched it over and over and over. And I guess I don't remember this, but my parents told me that I didn't realize that sharks were like a real thing. And then once I realized that they were a real thing, then the movie terrified me. And so, like, on my 6th birthday, I had my birthday decked out with movie stuff because I was just getting into acting for the first time, and they got me a Jaws poster for my birthday. And I remember when they pulled it up and out of the box, I just immediately bursted into tears because I was scared of this.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome though, man. That's a cool story. I love little things like that where it's like little childhood fears or something, and like now it's like, oh, now we're obsessed with it as adults.
Yeah.
That's how I feel the same way about Jaws pretty much. Like we went to the beach for the first time when I was like 8 or 9, and like I was terrified, wouldn't go in the water. Like I also watched that pretty young. I think I was a little older than you. I wasn't 3, but I was like 6 or 7, I want to say. That's nuts though, man. Oh my God. We have Gangster Sus saying we need a Jaws video game.
Yes. I know there was one. I want to say it was on the 64 then, and Nintendo 64. I think I remember my neighbor having it a long time ago when I was like 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, I would love like open world Amity. I don't know. It'd be hard, but it'd be cool.
Have you played so there's one on like I want to say Xbox, PS2 era video games where it's like Jaws Unleashed and you play as the shark?
Yes.
That one's so fun. That is one of my childhood favorite video games.
I think it'd be cool because you could kind of do something like that where, how the Friday the 13th online where you have people, running away from Jason, you could have people acting one as the shark and then your crew of 3 or whatever.
Oh yeah, that could be fun.
Really fun.
It's have you played that like the pirate like you're on like a pirate ship or something and you're like hunting for gold? I can't remember the name of that. Sea of Thieves? Yes. Yeah. Almost like that, but you're like fighting a shark or something. That could be cool. Yeah. I mean, that's actually I kind of like that. That's pretty sick. That could be fun. But yes, with the first one though, we do have a question from Molly talking about who is your favorite character? Molly's saying Hooper, but who would you say is like your absolute favorite character from that first movie?
Oh, it's so tough. I mean, the shark. I don't know.
Bruce the shark's my favorite.
I love. I mean, just. I don't. I mean, I'll say this too. The movie. When it started scaring me, it really ended up like they are now my worst fear. Sharks are my worst fear. Like, and I've been scuba diving before, and I look back on it, and I'm like, I don't know how I did that. I will probably never do it again because I was in open water. And but yeah, as for favorite character, I gotta go with Brody, just because I love like his little character moments with his kid Sean at the table, and his buddy romance with Hooper.
Yeah,
I mean, I love that, but it again, it's one of those things where I could go back and forth because Quint and his dialogue is also fantastic, and Richard Dreyfuss is fantastic and everything. I love Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's my favorite Alien film. So
nice.
I'm a huge fan of Richard Dreyfuss. So but
yeah,
I think I gotta go with Brody.
The main 3 are also good, right? I mean, like they're all perfectly casted. They do so well. They've all across the board great performances. Yeah, I got to go with Brody too, man. I mean, he's like to me. Yes, he only really shines in this movie and somewhat in the second one. He's a little more off his rock. He's a little crazier off his rocker in the second film. But I love his performance here. It starts off like he's like just really frustrated with the town. He never really loses it until like halfway through the film. He starts drinking and getting drunk. He doesn't know what to do. I just love his character struggle and how he just truly is like good. He's good natured. He's well natured. He really wants to save everybody. He's a hero, and I don't know. I just think it's portrayed very well from Roy Scheider and all that. It's great. It's a great performance all the way across the board. We also have Lei TheNerd saying she remembers watching Jaws as a kid with her mother. Fun times. Yeah, never was that scared of it though. Oh man, never scared of Jaws. I know. I wish I was never scared of Jaws. That
okay. I got a
shark.
question. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Is this further closer? How does it sound to people? Because this is the first time using this mic on a live stream. So
it sounds great, and I love all the colors too.
Well, yeah, I gotta figure out how to change them, but yeah.
nice. No, it looks good. You sound good. You look good.
Also, hey, thanks, man. As for the characters as a whole, though, you say favorite character because most people are gonna say the big three, but even you look at just everybody in this film, minor character, the mayor, the other sheriff, his two kids, like everybody gets a little beat into like building this world of Amity, and like even the background characters that are just like shuffling around, the fishermen on the docks, like it's a chaotic film, but it makes it feel like a real town. Shut up, phone.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's almost like Amityville's like a character within the movie. Yeah. It's done so well. Every little side character has like either a good moment or a good performance. Like even that guy who he's trying to explain what a tiger, like Hooper's trying to explain what a tiger shark is to him. Yeah, I love that. That's such such a memorable delivery. It's so goofy and over the top, but it's great. Yeah. I still love it all the same. And yeah.
Sorry, but like one that always stuck with me as a kid is Mrs. Kintner, slapping Brody. I like that scene. I loved as a kid, and I don't know, maybe some people don't think it holds up as well today, but I don't know. I loved it as a kid, so I guess I just have that nostalgia. But that scene I find so emotional, and it seems like that with like parents dealing with a loss that I just absolutely, that sounds awful, but absolutely love. Like I'm going to spoil this, but the first season of Stranger Things, I think that's fair to spoil. The first season of Stranger Things, when everybody thinks that Will's dead and they find his fake body in the court, like that scene just broke me. And, Joyce and Jonathan figuring that out. Like, I love that type of stuff. And so it's the same thing here with Mrs. Kintner.
Oh yeah, it's a really powerful scene because the movie, like, it hasn't been like goofy so far, but it's been like you haven't seen anyone like face the consequences of their actions. Like it's been kind of like going back and forth between like, yeah, Brody trying to shut down the beaches. The mayor doesn't want to do that because they're going to lose their summer dollars. But yeah, no, this is the first time in the movie where someone like faces the consequences of these actions, and it's Brody, the guy who's trying to like save everyone. He's the hero here, and he's the one that gets smacked in the face. He's the one who gets blamed for everything, which totally sucks. And it's so realistic and it's done so well. I don't know. I feel like if this was actually happening to a town and sharks were actually evil, this would be how it would play out. I don't know. It's just it's really well written and just timeless for that reason, I think. We have Mr. L saying the scariest thing about Jaws to me is the iconic poster sent chills down my spine whenever I would go to the beach. You can't go to the beach or somewhere with water and not look down and be like, what the fuck? For 2 seconds, I think, after seeing that movie. We have Michael also saying, was Bruce his actual name? No, the shark's name is not Bruce. It was named after his lawyer, too.
Yep.
So, do you know why that is? I'm sure, Carter, I'm sure you know all about that. Why it was named Bruce?
Well, I know it was named after Spielberg's lawyer, but I can't remember why it was named after Spielberg's lawyer.
Because the shark was a pain in the ass.
That's right. Okay, yeah.
It broke down all the time.
It broke down so many times. Yep.
Oh yeah, no, it's pretty funny. Pretty funny stuff.
Great.
We had someone talking about one of the other crazy shark movies that this one inspired too. I can't remember if it was like ghost
In the
shark
comic?
or something. Someone was talking. I saw that earlier. I was like, this is hilarious. Someone was like Jaws versus Ghost Jaws or something. I can't remember the name. So, someone was saying that. I wanted to pull up that comment, but I totally missed it. Chrissy's death was a bit hilarious for some people. What? Oh no, that's terrifying, man.
Dude.
Chrissy's death hilarious.
And the reality of her breaking her ribs makes it even worse. I just like, oh.
It's scary, right? It's like, oh man. So I know it's like an urban legend that she didn't actually like she wasn't like
she didn't.
Yeah, isn't that like an urban legend that she got hurt? Like it was kind of like because everyone was like, oh, when she's saying it hurts, like that was like she was really in pain. But I don't know if I think that's like a myth, right? I'm not 100% sure.
We don't know. Yeah. Nowadays you would know because of social media and everything. All the documentation.
Oh yeah, everyone would. People would be on that like flies to shit pretty much. Jaws versus the Meg. That would be a quick fight, yep. I think.
Jaws versus Santa Jaws.
Jaws versus Santa Jaws. There we go. Isn't that an actual movie too? Like not even
Santa Jaws is a film. I know that.
That's man. They'll make anything. That's crazy.
Mr. L says my favorite shark movie besides Jaws is probably a movie called The Reef. Have you seen The Reef?
I have not seen The Reef. Which one is that?
Everybody's talked about it. It's from like 2010, I believe. I've been meaning to watch it because the sequel's coming out just in a couple months from now. So,
oh, no way. Oh, sick. Okay.
A lot of people really like it. So
ooh, I'm gonna have to look this one up because I've never seen this one. I don't think.
I'm pretty sure it's streaming. So.
Oh wait, is this the one where they're on like a boat? Oh wait, yeah, okay, wait. I know of this one. I've never actually watched it. Yes, and they get trapped in the middle of the ocean or something. They're like, oh, we gotta swim back to shore. They're on top of the boat when it's capsized or something for a minute. Yeah, no, I know of this film. I have not
seen it.
yeah. That's what I got. That's what I got so far. But yeah, I don't know. I do really like Jaws. I mean, obviously, I think the first one's great. The sequel's kind of a little lackluster. But how do you feel? Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, would you? Sorry, that I need to shut that.
No, you're all good. You're all good. I'm gonna wait for his question, but I'm gonna answer a few more of these. 47 Meters Down is another good shark movie I've seen. That movie was awesome. Was 47 Meters Down was fun. I love the director of that film, too. He made the new Resident Evil flick, which I actually really thought was fun. That was a good one. But what was your question, good sir?
I was just going to say, because, obviously Jaws is the one that people watch, but do you even consider, if you were going to watch, I mean, obviously, if you're going to watch any of them, you're going to watch the first, but would you even consider watching the second one after, or is that just like I'll watch the second one if I'm going to, talk about it, or what, how do you feel about those other three? Like, how separate do you keep those other three films from the original?
That's a really good question. I would recommend, if someone was like, hey, I really like Jaws, what else can I watch? I would recommend Jaws 2. I would say hey, yeah, watch that one. It's pretty much the same thing again, but a little lesser. The characters are less memorable because you also follow this plot line that feels a lot more like a slasher flick than another Jaws movie, which is kind of strange. But I think that's just because at the time, slasher flicks were starting to really vamp up, I think. So it was loosely based on that concept, I think. But I would recommend that. I guess maybe not 3 or 4 though. I would say you don't really need to watch. You don't really need to watch this unless you're like, oh my god, I love this franchise and need to know everything about it. That's what I would say. You have a really good point there because I think some people who love that first movie wouldn't even consider any of the sequels part of a franchise, part of it in general, because they just all of them just pale in comparison. All 3 of them do. The second one's still watchable. It's still a competent movie, but the 3 and 4 though, not really. That's just my take. But what do you think? How do you what do you think about the 3 sequels?
I mean, so I had never seen 3 and 4 all the way through. So I had seen bits and pieces of them. So leading up to this, I was like, okay, perfect time to force myself to do it because I knew that they were terrible. And because it's, I got a damn tattoo for the film. I just didn't want it to ruin that good memory of Jaws, but it honestly didn't. It just made me appreciate how good the original is even more. which is a rare thing for me oftentimes. You know, like Halloween, like I don't love that franchise. I love some bits and pieces. I love some kills. I love the original. I like the second one. I'm enjoying the what David Gordon Green is doing, but I'm not in love with everything like I am with Jaws, and I expected to kind of be a little hurt. And the one thing that, like I said before, with Sean Brody's death, that was like the one thing that kind of like irked me. But I was like, it's okay. This movie's ass. It's whatever.
Yeah. And the off-screen death of Chief Brody.
Yeah.
He died from fear. He died from the fear of the shark.
Oh my God.
It's pretty like, what the fuck? Yeah. I feel it, dude. I totally understand where you're coming from with that. We have Carrie in here saying, hey, J.K. Carter. Hey, everyone. Jaws is an absolute classic. Hot take saying horrible shark, which this is something I want to talk with you about specifically, because I don't know, man. We'll get into that in a second. Yes, but the acting makes up for it tenfold. Deep Blue Sea is my other fave shark movie. Good choice. And The Shallows is great too. Nice. I do love both of those as well. And we're going to talk about Mr. L also wanted to talk about The Shallows too. But do you like, a massive criticism of Jaws is the shark looks awful? How do you feel about that? Because I have a hot take on that.
It's so weird because everybody says like it looks just awful, and I'm like, maybe it's. I mean, again, like I admit that it might be those nostalgia goggles, but after rewatching it, I'm like, for instance, the guy in the boat who tips over and you see the shark, you see him coming at like underneath the water, like. That looks fantastic. And like even the shark hitting the cage, like even if I don't know what people are wanting. I mean, obviously, it doesn't look as good as like just even. I mean, the shark in The Shallows is obviously very CG, but it still looks very good.
Yeah, it does.
Very passable, very, very fantastic. But I feel like people are just picking on it because it's like over time they got to find stuff to pick on. But I don't know. I think there's definitely a few shots here and there, like there is in most films. Like my first feature film that I was a part of, that I acted in, there's plenty of issues in there. But I'm biased. I like it because I'm in it. I have fun with it. But that might be a little bit with this, but I think it looks great. I don't know what people want. I think Quint's death still looks fantastic. Him being
it's terrifying, man.
Or just even the little bit that they show with Alex's death. You just see the fins flapping around. Like that looks fantastic. I don't know.
And it's just a little thing too. You don't see the whole shark or anything. You just get to see like the fins in the background and just the stream of blood. It's super upsetting. It's super nasty.
And then anytime you see the actual just the dorsal fin or the tail fin in the water, like that looks great.
The only, like, to me, there's really only one shot of the whole movie, one sequence with the shark that doesn't look good. And the rest of it, I think, is pretty damn convincing. Like, I'm pretty terrified, the rest of it. The only thing is when the shark comes into the boat, like when it's like underwater, Brody's the only one on the boat at this point, and it like breaks through the wall of the boat or whatever. It's the motion's a little like unnatural, and you can see the eyes, like there's on the eyes. Yeah, like the eyes look a little fake. It looks like there's like a plastic or glass covering or something over it. So that's the only part of the whole movie where I've noticed that. And I mean, man, I don't know. Listen, maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe because my brother, we were watching. This is more related to CGI more than anything, but we were watching the new Jurassic World film, and my brother was like, "Oh my god, the Velociraptors look awful." I'm like, I didn't notice. Like they looked fine to me. And he was like, oh, they had no weight to them or anything like that. And I was like, really? Like I thought it looked good. I don't know. Just my take. But yeah, I don't know. I think it looks good for practical effects too, and how much work went into making that thing look real. I was pretty impressed with it. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's one thing that I wrote down for my review is just the fact that you look at films that have issues like this, and any film that has a production issue of this size and of this much cost and time cost, you expect the film to tank or just to not look good, not feel finished. And it's the classic shark film. It still is. Like nothing's beat it. So the fact that a 27-year-old Steven Spielberg that's 3 years older than me, like it makes me feel like, oh my god, I gotta get
like, what am I doing with my life? Yeah, right.
27-year-old made this horror classic, and I mean, yeah, I think it looks great.
I do too. I love it. It's always been a favorite of mine. Still scares me to this day. We have Mr. L talking about The Shallows. This might become a shark movie discussion. I'm gonna be honest, because there's so many ones to talk about. Where Jaws was kind of like the start of this, you know what I mean? It was kind of like the forefront for shark movies. We had so many like things that tried to copy it too, which I see some comments talking about Piranha, which I would love to get into in a second. I love those movies. But talking about The Shallows, Mr. L says, don't know how I feel about The Shallows. Seems like they wanted to be grounded at first, but it got a little unrealistic quickly. The shark turned a slasher killer with fins. How do you feel about The Shallows, Carter? Because I've seen multiple people say this about the film, and I have a take on it. I have a little take on it.
Here, hold on. Let me look up how many people die in The Shallows.
It's only a handful, because like there's the people on the beach. Wow, is it just the people on the beach? There's not too many kills. I know that. Like it's pretty sparing with the deaths.
Three surfers before the film.
That's like the opening scene, yeah.
I don't remember that.
I don't think you see it. I don't think you ever see them die, but see that
the humpback whale. So 2 surfers and 1 local man, so only 3 actual people. So I don't feel like that argument is like I get that the shark is going after them and the kills are crazy, but I think it's cool, you know, like the shark jumping out of the water to get that surfer, like that looked fantastic. Again, like with that CGI in the film, like I thought it was great. I thought it was a fun experience. I saw it in theaters with my dad. My dad, anytime that there's a shark film, no matter what it is, if it's in theaters, we're gonna go see it.
Nice,
because I want to see how scared it will make me. Like that's what I want from a shark film, is to see what they do right and what they do wrong, so that way I know what not to do, you know?
Oh yeah, no, I feel you, man. I do want to say with The Shallows, I do see where you're coming from with the slasher angle there. It does feel a little bit like that, but to me, the most interesting parts of that movie are when like someone shows up, you know what I mean? Because the rest of the time you're just looking at Blake Lively trapped, you know what I mean? So like there's not too much going on in the film. That's probably my one criticism. I actually could have used maybe some more kills even, and he should have just like went all out with the slasher shark concept even. But I get what you're saying. I guess conceptually it is flawed, but it's an interesting movie. And the effects are fantastic for a digital shark too. Like that ending is great, even if it's a little unrealistic. You know, I like it. I think it looks good.
I think, I mean, obviously the movie is what it is. You know, they're not going to go back and recreate it. But
what's that?
One thing that
I'm so sorry.
You're good.
No. Do you need a tripod? I can give you. Yeah, you can have this one. Give me 1 second. I'm on a live stream, my friend.
You're good.
My brother has a concert tonight, and he's very excited for it. He's all come on in here, Noah. He's all dressed up America themed. Look at him go. Look at him go. Here you go, my friend. I did not take that, but here, you can borrow this.
Okay.
There you go. Go nuts.
Have a seat, everyone.
Yes.
Please let me know.
But yes, what I'm so sorry. What were you saying?
Oh, you're good. I just feel like with The Shallows, with that slasher, like you said, like adding more to that, what they could, you know, like what they could have done is, you know, you have those 2 surfers out there. They could have just killed one off, had one of them make it back to the island and go get some help, and then you have some more people who are just kind of watching on the beach, as well as trying to go in there to get, you know, and then you kill off a couple more, and then the rest of the film happens. I don't know, you know.
Yeah. I do like. I mean, it's, you know, I get what you're saying with the slasher thing though, Mr. L. But I do. I like I like the death, like the shark kill at the end. You know, it's a little crazy, but it's fun. I think it had a lot of fun action. It was some good stuff. We have some love for the Sharknado films, by the way, from Gangster Sus and Extron saying Sharknado movies. I only remember the first 2. There are 6 of them puppies.
I was gonna say.
Is that like your favorite movie of all time? The Sharknado films?
Ugh. No thanks.
Those are fun. Those were funny. You know, I feel like
I did what Extron Gaming said. Sharknado movies. I only remember the first two. I gotta say, I'm pretty much right there with them. I think I watched up until the fourth one. Was that the Fourth Awakens?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Wasn't there like a lightsaber? Someone had like a lightsaber or something in that one, right? Or no?
Yeah.
I can't.
Probably. I don't remember.
I remember there's a pirate ship in that one, and that is all I remember. Like.
Ooh. Check out Gangster Suss's comment.
Sharktopus is better than Sharknado, is what they're saying.
I'm gonna say yes on that, and but I'm also biased because I've been to some of the filming locations of Sharktopus.
Oh, no way.
they also filmed the original Predator where they filmed Sharktopus.
What? Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
It was really bizarre.
Oh, that's a weird coincidence for those two films to take place in the same. So like that whole ending area, is that what you're talking about? For Sharktopus, where like they're in like I want to say like a jungle setting or something.
Yeah, and there's like a small pool. Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
that's crazy.
So that's a zip line area now, and they've got like a guy who dresses up as a predator to like scare you while you're on the zip lines.
Oh, no way. Dope. That's cool. No way. They filmed Sharktopus and Predator.
Movies.
Yes. Yeah. Were you going to say something?
No, I was just looking at some other comments, seeing what people were saying.
Gotcha. We have talking about the Susmungus shark is the best shark movie. Nice.
Susmungus?
Sussy Baka shark.
What?
I'm just making up stupid shit at this point. Mr. L saying it follows invokes the paranoia of being followed. Nightmare on Elm Street made people afraid of sleep. Of course, Jaws makes people afraid of the unknown deep. That's what I love about horror most. You gotta. I think that's why those films stick out so much, is because they make you terrified of something that you either need or have to go into, or something that is just naturally occurring. That's what's so scary. What makes those films you mentioned such instant classics and so effectively terrifying, I think. Especially with Jaws, it just makes water terrifying. You don't want to go anywhere near an ocean, lake, lagoon, a swimming pool even. Like I used to swim when I was a kid. I wouldn't even want to get into the pool after watching Jaws. I'd be like, fuck that.
Not even the pool. Just the pool. It's like, okay, even though it's not the ocean, you're still scared of the pool.
Right. It's just like any body of water is just terrifying at that point.
Nope.
You're like scanning the bottom of the pool while you're swimming around. It's great. I mean, that's how effectively scary that movie is. You still have kids today who like I'm a 90s baby and I'm still terrified of Jaws.
Yeah. My
really
mom,
really dates me.
My mom saw Jaws in theaters. You know, she was 7 years old when she saw it. And, you know, her mom was like, no, you're not going to go see it. But she saw it with her older sister, and she had nightmares for like a month. And it was just, I mean, generations of terrified people.
Right. It's awesome. That's what we want.
Awesome.
That's what we want from our horror movies right there. Some good stuff. Jaws just made me scared of drowning for some reason, says Coop de Oof. I mean, same kind of fear, just a little with less teeth, you know? It's still water-based aquatic death. Jacob Browning really enjoyed The Meg. Not the best, but a whole lot of fun. Very exciting for the sequel. Nice. Yeah. I agree. It was fun, you know?
Yeah, it was fun for what it was. I think I talked to you before about it. Like, it was supposed to be directed by Eli Roth, and then the studio let him go, which Eli Roth directed The Meg would have been awesome.
I agree. I think it would have been so much better. It feels a little too action-y for what it is, you know?
It's just not a horror.
Yeah, it's got too much. It's just another Jason Statham action movie with a gigantic shark, basically.
Yeah.
So, like, if that's what you like, hell yeah, you know, it's great. But Eli Roth, I think, would have made it a little more horror. So I've been requested to do a review of this for my channel members. This Aqua Slash. I have yet to watch it. It's on the list though. I'm going to talk about this. Have you seen that or no?
No, never heard of it.
It's about some killer at a water park. It's a sick movie apparently, and I've never seen it. I'm like, oh, sounds cool. Interesting. Yeah. So not sharks, but close.
So also, you look at most movies today. I just wanted to talk about the rating of Jaws, just the fact that it's PG.
Right.
You know why they managed to make it PG and not R? Because they didn't have PG-13.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I don't know why it's not R. I'm going to be honest.
Richard Zanuck, I read that Richard Zanuck, I don't know how to pronounce that, but met with the ratings people and was saying that, like, well, it's a shark hunting its prey. It's predator versus prey. It's not violence. It doesn't classify as violence. It's just nature. And so that's why they're like, okay, there's no sex or anything. There's only a little bit of drinking. So
Wow.
I thought that was a crazy story, because if it was rated R, I mean, who knows if it would have been.
It wouldn't have been a success. Yeah, no, it wouldn't have been as successful at all. No, because like that was something that, you know, so many people went to. It was the first film to make like over $100 million. It was just it was a
summer blockbuster. Yeah.
Yeah. So like if that wasn't PG, man, that's crazy. And for a PG movie to have a very violent child death and like Quint's death, for instance, too, which is that's hard to watch. That's crazy to me. I wish they could make that argument with a lot of other creature features nowadays, because like, dude, if you think about that too,
tiger,
right.
Crawl
Crawl's like PG-13 or R, I want to say. It's not PG, because the crawl's pretty vicious too.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
right.
Exaggerating here.
So that's my that's my question right there. That's great, because like think about how much bigger you like if you had like a what am I trying to say? If you had like if you could make that argument for like every creature feature, you would see so many more creature feature movies. I think you would see so many more of them, just because it would be like, oh hey, they're PG, everyone can go to these things, but guess what? People are getting their arms ripped off. There's blood everywhere. It's crazy. We have Eddie Munson here from the Hellfire Club with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Eddie. I won't spoil what happens to you in season 4, but thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Love your videos, man. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Mr. Munson. We have oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Read this comment while you got it up. You're good.
I was just gonna say we have ATGNAT saying happy 4th, everybody. Going to catch this stream on the replay. Just wanted to say hi. Thank you so much for stopping by. What were we gonna say, Carter?
Cool. Well, while we had Eddie Munson up, I just wanted to kind of transition Jaws and Stranger Things, because I mean, you know that the Duffer Brothers are inspired by so many different things, and Jaws being one of them. I don't know if you know that the original first season was going to be at like a beachside town. That's where they were originally going to have it set, but then the costs, you know, just didn't work out and shooting. So then they had to switch it up, which I think, you know, works totally fine. But the idea of that, what is awesome to me, and like they were going to have the Demogorgons coming out of like the water and things like that.
Oh.
But that led me to volume 1 of season 4, where there's one of the basketball players. I can't remember. I think it's the lake scene. I just don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't totally caught up. But that lake scene, I mean, obviously it's not a shark or anything like that, but I just like seeing water and anything with water. But
anyone dying in water is aesthetically pleasing.
And seeing that the whole thing just made me was like, oh, like I can see how they wanted to do obviously something with a body of water, probably assumed. Oh, I can't talk, but because of Jaws.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that scene, and I won't get into specifics because it's, you know, season 4 is still relatively new. We just had volume 2 come out a couple of days ago. Yeah. Then that scene in volume 1 it's very reminiscent of Jaws, I will say, even though, you know, it's not in an ocean or anything. It actually it almost feels a little Friday the 13th-y too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know that scene in like the remake where it's like the girl and she's in the water and all that being stalked by Jason? It almost reminded me a little bit of that too. So
yes, absolutely.
I do want to thank Hellfire Munson one more time. Another $2 super chat. Thank you so much. He's got to go. Catch you later. Thank you so much. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed Stranger Things season 4. Speaking of that, I did a little review of that, by the way. So if you haven't checked that out, check it out. Check it out when you watch it. Some good stuff. So yeah, no, With Jaws, though, I think it's one of those movies that really got me into horror. Like it was so inspirational at the time. Like we were saying, it's one of the big summer blockbusters like ever. And we also have this comment from Michael talking a little bit about one of the Jaws ripoffs, or like one of the movies that was inspired by it. Hey, people really like fish monster things. Let's keep making a bunch of those. One of the most popular ones was Piranha. So have you ever seen the original Piranha?
So I saw the original Piranha before the reboot back in like, what was that, like 2010, 2009? I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
And so I don't remember any of that one, but I was going to go back and rewatch Piranha and watch Piranha 2: The Spawning, because I've never seen that, and that's
man.
James Cameron's first film, and I'm gonna watch all of James Cameron's films before Avatar 2. Unfortunately, I'm not excited for that, but I want to make videos on it. So yeah. But as for the original Piranha, I really don't remember it. I gotta say, I remember the reboot, but that's because younger me and boobs. That's all there was to that film. Like, you gotta be honest.
I understand.
Kills. Like, that's all you're going to remember from that film. And Richard Dreyfuss's kill in that film, which I enjoyed that. But
great cameo appearance there.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I love the original Piranha is nothing like Piranha 3D. Like what you said is filled with is boobs and lots of that. But I do really honestly I like just about every iteration of Piranha, man. Like they're all very fun. They're all a little goofy and silly while still being a little scary sometimes too, which I appreciate. I'm like, okay, it's not bad. I have this affinity for Piranha 3D, and no, it is not because of what we previously mentioned. I just think it's a really bloody, gross film. That's fun.
Yeah, it can be bloody and fun.
And Eli Roth like totally directed that one part of the movie where everyone just gets like ripped to shreds. Like that's awesome. That is such a good scene. I don't know. As a gore hound,
like the weed whacker or whatever it was. I don't know.
The boat. It's like the boat motor or something. He's using that to kill all of them. And they eat his legs, man. Oh, that's so upsetting. I love that. Honestly, all the Piranha films are across the board enjoyable. Even like there's a made for TV remake from like the 90s of the first one, which it's not bad. Like I think in the James Cameron one, you're gonna have a really good time with. It's like it's a purposefully so bad it's good B movie basically. Yep. It's ridiculous, but it is so funny. I don't know. I really that of all the Jaws ripoffs, those are the ones I enjoy the absolute most for whatever reason. And like you said
with Piranha too, the idea of like they're small little creatures, but it almost reminds me of the I want to say it was like the cookie, was the cookie cutter fish in Shark Night, the little ones, it's like, okay, you're just getting a full movie of that. And I think Piranha does that better.
And I was telling you when we talked about that movie on your page, I was like, I love that scene so much. And then I think I love that scene so much because I like Piranha has always been one of my favorites for some reason. Yeah, no, I guess there you go. That's the connection. I've always loved those movies. I think they're very fun. I recommend all of them. But there's a lot of Jaws continuations. Like we were talking about Cruel Jaws too. That's the Bruno Mattei film.
Cool Jaws.
Jaws 5, whatever the hell it's called.
There's tons of ripoffs.
Now, how do you feel about that one? Because that one is commonly cited as like the fifth Jaws film incorrectly. Like people like really that one's always been Cruel Jaws that you said you just watched that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God. I mean, if you're talking about it in the actual Jaws franchise, like if you put that in the timeline, that would be under 4.
Wow. It is that bad, huh?
It is. Okay, I'm already laughing because there's 2 parts within like 10 minutes where 2 opposing characters have no idea who they have no idea that the other person's talking, like completely different scenes, situations, they're nowhere near each other, and they both say something about ripping the other person's balls off. It's
nice.
Just like nice. The good guy and the bad guy are like, oh, I'm gonna rip this guy's balls off. Oh, I'm gonna rip this guy's balls off, and it's just like, what? The line delivery is horrible. The editing is just god awful. And
man,
it's like TV movie at its worst.
Ah, that sucks. that really sucks. I still have to watch it. I'm interested. Bruno Mattei is like just a disaster. Like everything he is a part of just seems like it sucks. But that's interesting to me. Cruel Jaws took footage from the Jaws movie apparently too, which I did not know about. That's sounds crazy.
It's free on Tubi.
Free on Tubi. Okay. Hey, there we go, man. So something that's funny about him is one of my all-time favorite movies is yet again another tropical set film called Zombie from 1979. Not sure if you've ever seen that.
I know. I've been because I've been hearing you talk about it like for. Okay, I just type in zombie and it comes up with the Cranberries song "Zombie," of course. Yeah, no, I've been meaning to watch it for forever since I've heard you talk about it in your videos. But yeah, no, I have not watched it. But it's on Amazon Prime, so I'll get on that soon.
Yeah, dude, it's something special. I really like it. It's my favorite zombie movie. And when that film, with that one, first of all, there's a shark zombie fight scene. So if that doesn't sell you, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, no, we have a dude dressed up as a shark, not a shark. He's dressed up as a zombie and he actually fights a shark. Like it's for a real shark. Yeah, they found a real dude. It's crazy. It's like if you're not impressed by that film, I don't know what to tell you. Like that is one of the most impressive 70s movies I've ever seen. But the other thing about that's really interesting concerning Bruno Mattei is he worked with Lucio Fulci, who does that movie, on a sequel, on another movie called Zombie 3, because technically that movie was like it was marketed. Yeah, it was marketed as a sequel to Dawn of the Dead. It's not at all.
What?
Yeah, you're right. Basically, they just did that to make money.
That it was, yep.
That's the only reason. Then they make Zombie 3, which is, dude, a disaster. I mean, it is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It's pretty rough.
Period. Awful.
But if you want more of his fantastic work,
yeah, I'll have to check it out. I will for sure be checking it out.
There you go, Zombie 3.
So while we're talking,
no, go ahead.
You're good. I was gonna say while we're talking about like awful shark films, what's the core reason why you think the Jaws sequels don't work?
The same reason why other shark movies don't work when they just try to copy Jaws. That's the problem. They're too similar to Jaws. I think the ones that stick out are the ones that are so different conceptually. Like think about there's this movie called Bait, where it's like sharks, and
I know I've been meaning to watch that.
I think I brought this up to you before. I
need to watch it.
Really interesting concept. Okay, so you have like this grocery store, I believe, gets flooded, and they like sharks like swim through this like grocery store. That you have people like stuck on top of the shelves. That's different. That's totally different than Jaws. But then, and Mr. L, I'm going to get to your comment here in just a second because this is a big point of conversation I want to talk about.
Yes,
then we have films like House Shark, which literally copies Jaws beat for beat. I mean, think about something from Jaws. This movie copies it like word for word in a super silly, ridiculous way. And it comes off as not even funny. Like they're trying to like.
This literally like 2017 House Shark?
Yeah. Yep. Dude,
I'm watching parts of it on Tubi right now.
I cite it as the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. Like the very worst one that I've ever watched is House Shark. This is the most awful movie I've ever seen.
Oh wow!
Yeah. No, it's something.
Fake beards.
Oh yeah.
What the heck?
It is every bit of that movie is just trying to copy Jaws point by point by point. It's the epitome of a bad shark movie, and why that is because when you have a movie like Jaws where it redefines something, if that's the summer blockbuster thing, whatever, or just aquatic horror movies, you got to do something different. Otherwise, people are going to compare it to that because everyone knows Jaws. Even if you've never seen it, you know elements of it, even if you've never seen it. So you can't make something that's even a little bit similar because you have to do it different or people are just going to compare it to the other thing, which is going to be better no matter what your thing is. It's how I see it. That's my rule with shark movies.
Yeah. I also feel like the sequels specifically, the reasons they try to copy the original, but they also seem to focus too much on the shark and not the story of the characters and why they're dealing with the shark.
It's always a little lazy, and I think it gets
Yeah.
lazier as you go through, especially in the fourth movie where the shark just is psychic or some shit.
Yeah, the connection, and it travels down from Amity all the way down to the Bahamas.
Right?
Cool.
Like, what? Oh, okay, sure. But then there's, of course, the modern day question about Jaws still continuing this franchise. Do we make another movie? Do we remake it? Do we reboot it? Is that even is this considered heresy in our eyes? Not sure about your stance on reboots, remakes. So I'll throw that I'll beach ball that question to you real quick. How would you feel about either a remake or reboots of Jaws? Because I have specific things on both.
So that it's weird because I've done like some like research on like, you know, different articles of like people being like, oh, who they would cast as, you know, a reboot, or who should be right for directing. And, you know, some people said like, yeah, oh, Peter Jackson and certain things like that. And I remember there was a time where there was a rumor that Spielberg was going to come back and reboot Jaws itself. And I thought, okay, wow, I guess that's probably the only way that I would be interested. And yeah, again, if he were to do that, obviously it would gain attention. And I would be watching that right away. But as for a straight up just, you know, like as for like a Radio Silence did with Scream, as for something just on its own, whether it's a requel or reboot, I definitely don't think it should be a remake. That's, you know, remake is out of the picture. That's the story is so simple. And if they were to remake it, the shark would have to nearly look flawless. Like the CGI and practical would have to look like 1,000% flawless, where it's more of a visual spectacle than the first one would have been. So I think it's a really, really tight line. Like I don't want to see it happen just because, well, I guess I shouldn't say that. If somebody wants to do it, go ahead, because I want to say I don't think it'll end up being great, but I'm open to the idea. It would just have to be almost extremely different. Except I think the only reason why it would have to be, the only way that it could tie in, is it would have to be taking place in Amity but dealing with different characters, because of the fact that all of the sequels still deal with the Brodies, and we saw that didn't work. So I think if you're going to do it, it's got to have different characters within the world of Amity, because if it's not within the world of Amity, why have it be Jaws?
Then it's just another shark movie.
I know that was a lot of babbling. So
yeah. No. You make some good points though, because if they just make another shark movie and slap Jaws on it, why do that? What's the point there? You do have to, you have to do something with Amity. You have to have certain elements of those Jaws films that are so important, and what separates it from other shark films. Because like we were just saying before, like there's other shark movies that do different things that are cool. Like hey, let's change up the setting. Let's do something with like Deep Blue Sea, where it was like, oh, these are super sharks now, you know? There's different ways to take it, but with Jaws, you have to have those other aspects of it that make it its own specific thing. Otherwise, what the hell are you doing? You're just trying to capitalize on the name. That's all you're trying to do in that case. My take on it is I don't think they can make a remake. I really don't think they can do that at this point. There are just some films that you don't need to remake, but I could see like a legacy sequel happening for this at some point. If they wanted to bring back like Richard Dreyfuss or something for another Jaws film, he might be interested in doing that. I mean, who knows? I think that's possible.
Cameo being like, "Hey, don't go in the water." Something stupid, you know. I mean, that's obviously very, very dumb and bland, but you know. He'd be that mentor character. I don't see him going out into the, you know, I don't see him being killed off. That would piss off everybody. So
right.
Just don't do that.
We don't need a Piranha 3D opening scene in the Jaws universe, you know.
That was fun too, because it's Piranha. You're like, oh, this could be a world where this is Hooper, you know, it's a fun little
right.
Hey.
This could be Hooper. Maybe when he got old, he retired. Yeah. What'd you say? I'm sorry. What's up?
I said multiverse Hooper.
Multiverse Hooper. Yeah, exactly. So maybe he retired. He's now living in Arizona somewhere, or whatever. And he's on his boat getting drunk, and he gets attacked by piranhas. You know, I mean, hey, it's a fitting death for this character. So I'll take it. That's pretty sad, but yeah. No, I mean, honestly, I don't consider it heresy if they were to like reboot Jaws, but I just don't see them I don't see them remaking it successfully. I really don't see that being the case. Like, who are you going to cast to play those three amazing central characters? I don't think anyone could play the roles better than those three characters they casted back in the 70s. If they want to do some kind of reboot though, with new characters dealing with another shark and Amity, cool. Okay, I'm down for it personally, but don't try to remake it with the same plot. That's my thing.
And along with that too, I also think with the shark and how they take down the shark, that whole adventure, because the first film feels like an adventure with these absolutely horrific things, happening. Like it's like a mystery, it's like it's everything. It's a little bit of everything. And I think, like with the first one and them using the barrels as, like tracking, like I don't think they could do that again, just because like you just can't do those story beats, whether it's like Lorraine Gray, who plays Ellen in the fourth film. She says like, come here, you son of a bitch, which is obviously, a reference to, the first film. And I'm like,
even though she wasn't there for any of that, right?
Like even if stuff were to make sense and were be callback-ish, I still don't feel like most people would want it. I feel like if it's going to be a callback, it needs to be, pictures or descriptions or, loose family members. It can't be recreations of, like you said, it just can't be a recreation of the first film.
Right. You got to do something different. You have to come up with a cool story. Don't just make it like, my biggest problem with these requels is they try to force legacy characters into stuff when it just doesn't work. Like if you want to just make another story in this universe, go for it. You don't have to throw legacy characters into every single continuation story, whatever. Like if it just doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. I would rather and with some franchises, you can easily do that. You can seamlessly throw people in there, like with the Halloween franchise, easily throw Laurie Strode in there. Cool, that works. But with Jaws, I feel like it almost would be better if they were gonna continue it, just have brand new characters living in Amity, have a new generation dealing with a shark or something. You look amazing with those headphones right there, by the way. That's great. I should start doing this. This would look awesome.
The ears are getting sore.
I know. I have these on for hours at a time when I'm editing, and then
you're editing, yep, and then you're like, oh,
and I'm doing this for like an hour while I'm listening back to stuff. Yeah, no, I feel that, dude. We have Carrie talking about her favorite scene from Jaws, there are many, but of course, but the ones that come to mind is when they swap Scar stories and sing "Show Me the Way to Go Home." Iconic. And this little soliloquy we get from Quint is just iconic. Oh, it's so scary too. What's your favorite scene from Jaws?
Oh, wow. That might be like it. I love that scene. Wow. How have I not thought about that? I wrote down like 2 pages of notes and I didn't think about what my favorite scene was.
Because that's tough, right? Like it's a pretty well-made movie. There's a lot of little instances like that.
There's so many character moments that aren't, long scenes, or it could just be small little beats that I'm like, oh, that makes me love that scene the most. Like I said with Mrs. Kintner and that bit, that's just a really well done scene. Like I like the mayor just doing the mayor stuff. He's just, like I said, it just fills this world with life. As for favorite scene, I don't know if it's I'll just say one of the ones that most impacted me, most scared me. Okay, most well done scene. Most well done. Probably favorite scene. I have to agree with Carrie. As for the most scary scene, it's got to be the jump scare with the head.
That's underrated. Oh, nice.
The cage sequence with Hooper.
Oh.
Anything with a shark cage freaks me out. So I really like that. But I think the best scare is probably that head jump scare, and then that favorite scene probably still has to go with that singing and the scare of the shark hitting the boat, and then they all get super caught off guard. But
And like, yeah, they're still singing, and he's still. You have Chief Brody going like, "Show me the way," and he's just like,
Yep, yep.
"Oh." I love it. It's so natural. They don't all react at the same time, which is nice. Like they all kind of get onto it. You know, they're a little drunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
directed so well.
What's your favorite scene?
I will say that's one of the best scenes in that entire movie. Like where you get Quint's monologue about the USS Indianapolis and all that, and he's telling about how it would take a couple men every hour and all that. I mean, that's iconic. It's amazing. It's so moving. But the scene that's so relatable to me is when you have Chief Brody like just giving up, like he is drinking and all that at the dinner table, and
he's with his kid,
and he's doing the thing, you know, this and all that. Yeah, it's such a sweet moment,
so sweet
in an otherwise so dark film. You know what I mean? Like you have this tone that's so powerfully positive, which is weird for a movie that deals with child death, a town getting overrun by a shark and all that. Like it's such an amazing movie. I don't know. I think it's so well done. That to me builds character with Chief Brody more than any other scene in the movie, because you really get to understand him a little better. He really is a good guy. Like he's a good guy, and he's working really hard to keep this town safe. And it seems like no matter what he does, he's still just fucked. He can't make it happen.
Yeah.
And this scene perfectly orchestrates all that without even too much dialogue. I love it. I think that whole dinner table scene is just really well written and directed at the same time. Now, I was gonna shout you out real quick, because I haven't even. Okay. I'm so rude. I bring you into my YouTube house here, and I don't even give you a shout out. Carrie has just put the link for Carter Scotland Allen's YouTube channel right here. So guys, go subscribe to Carter if you like horror movies and shark movies and everything else you talk about. So there you go.
Thanks, Carrie. Thanks, Jake.
Of course. Sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to get that out there. What were you gonna say though, my dude?
No, you're good. It's just that like that scene again, he's feeling those effects from Mrs. Kittner's chat, and it's just like again like that I could go back and forth with favorite scenes, because like the barrel scene, and then like just the again, that's one thing we haven't talked about is the score, because like the score during the barrel tracking scene is just so adventurous and fun, and then you have those moments at the dinner table with the kid where there's not much to the score. It's just the dun dun dun. It's just it's chill. Pleasant.
You know,
yeah,
right, yeah.
I love this film. I think like you said, that scene probably does build character the most. And I also love having Hooper over for dinner.
Yeah. Oh, and their conversation too is nice, because now I've never read the book, but the few things I know about it that are different from the movie from this isn't like Hooper and Brody's wife like having an affair? Isn't that like something from the book? I heard that somewhere. Is. Okay, that is something. Okay, cool. Because like that, I feel like that scene's kind of a reference to that, because they're kind of flirting a little bit. You know, it's like kind of weird actually. It's like oh, okay, what's going on there?
I know there was that, like, there was like that, throuple romance, and then there was also like a mafia mob tie-in with the novel. I don't know how it plays out, but I know there is some sort of mafia mobster.
Why did they never explore that in the sequel? Like, there's so much stuff from the book they could have ripped that, like, give it the Jurassic Park treatment, dude. Like, there's stuff in that.
Absolutely.
Think about the second Jurassic Park movie, dude. They rip a lot of stuff from the first novel specifically into that. Like the whole sequence where you have your characters underneath that waterfall and the T-Rex comes in. That's from the first book. Like, dude, why they should have given Jaws the Jurassic Park treatment. I mean, that was a little, obviously that happened later on, but man, I don't know. That would have worked, I think. Another scene with Chief Brody and his son where he imitates it. Ah, yes. And the hive minds. Me and Carrie are always on the same page. Carrie and I just laser locked. We got this. And talking about the score a little more, Carter. Yeah. So the score is just amazing. It brings the atmosphere. Didn't have to do much, but it brought us the proper haunting feel. Like you were saying earlier, it's not just scary. It's also, you have these really like touching and like relaxing moments. And I think the score really adds to that. How do you feel about John Williams' score for this movie?
I mean, I have a video upcoming once I get done with the Jaws film reviews, I'm gonna be ranking every single John Williams score ever, just every
Nice.
John Williams score, and this one is for sure up there. Because there's some that are just so iconic, but then some that I just personally like more than others, and this is obviously going to be one of them. But you've got everything from the classic dun, like, okay, so just this morning, my small town had a 4th of July parade, and so my girlfriend and I went and walking down there, and I heard multiple people walk by me and go dunna dunna. So I was like, it's so iconic, and so it's like it's fun. Like they did that, and we smiled and had like it's just a thing that connects people, just like Star Wars, whatever it may be. But it seems like John Williams, I mean, everybody already knows it, but he knows how to just make music that connects with a massive amount of people, because this score is fantastic. And I know a lot of there's some people out there that think the sequel score is just as good, if not better, than this film. I like it a lot. I don't think it's better, but I do like it a lot. I think anything that John Williams touches is damn near perfect.
It's probably like an obvious answer, but he really is one of the best composers of all time. I mean, like it's one of those things where it's like, oh, of course you pick John Williams, but sometimes the obvious answer is the right one, and this is one of those cases. I feel like he truly brings it with every movie he's been a part of. He's written some of the most iconic scores for movies ever. I mean, Star Wars, Jaws, Indiana Jones. Jesus Christ. I mean, come on. I
think like everything.
Yeah, all those. The Goonies. I mean, oh my God, the list goes on, dude. He's amazing. He's amazing. I love him. But yeah, no, I think with this score in particular, like I was saying, like, dude, you have so many different emotions you're playing around with here. Like you have this haunting, like just a half step melody, which is so cool. Like we were just talking about, like the da na 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 na. Like it's so simple, but it's so great. Yeah. But then you also have like the epic like ship music, like the sea shanty sounding, like when they're on the ocean, it's like da 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 da, like that kind of music. Fantastic. Right, and it fits the movie so well. Like I don't know, he had an assignment with this, and he nailed it. I think he nailed it out of the park for sure. We have some more. We have some people talking about other composers, Marco Beltrami being mentioned, which is always great. He kills it with all of his movies too. I love that. That's some good shout out to him too. But yeah, I really do like the score. I really do just love everything. There's not too much I hate about the film. I'm going to be honest. We have the Dreaming Insomniacs coming in here saying, I'm not crossfaded. Totally stay safe, buddy. That's what I'm going to say. Stay safe. Have a fun 4th. Something I wish I had my air. I'm so sorry. Rick saying the scene where the mother of the dead boy comes up to Brody with grief and smacks him. That gets me every time. We were just talking about that. Carter, that was like one of your favorite scenes, right?
Yeah, it's just anytime there's a parent dealing with loss, it seems to get me, which is weird because I'm nowhere near being a parent. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, but I mean, anytime that happens, I don't know. I always
always get you.
Feel
always
something, whether I cry, whether I tear up, or whether I'm just like, damn, it's always something.
It's always effectively, always. And that's good. That's what movies are for. They're for those kind of emotions and all that. But what else, is there any other shark movies that you'd put up there? Like, I mean, for me, Jaws is an easy number 1 on the top 10 shark movie list. But is there anything like your second, third spot that might come close? Is there any films that come to mind?
It's unfortunate because like there's some, but they don't, none of them come close to Jaws. There's Jaws is up here, and then all the other films are watchable and fun, but Jaws is just a fantastic story. Whereas like Deep Blue Sea is in the top 10, but that's because it's a fun shark movie. It's not good. I will argue anybody that says Deep Blue Sea is a good film, like it's fun. And like The Shallows, I think that is a fun, mostly serious film. Again, like every shark film since Jaws has just had an issue, and hopefully that can change, because I love, and that's one thing we also haven't talked about is the fact that sharks, the study of sharks has changed so much since the release of Jaws that shark films don't necessarily have the same impact as it did, and they never will. That's just a thing. So how do people move forward in creating a tense atmosphere? And that's why I would like to make a film where the sharks move and act accurately. You know, bite marks are, you know, I don't want to see like severed legs and stuff, because that's mostly not how sharks bite. You know, it's mostly puncture wounds. And it's like, that's the thing that I'm interested in is the accuracy, because of the fact that Jaws wasn't accurate, but people didn't know that. And so, you know, it just creates this tension, but it just works. I don't know. I could babble on about shark films all the time, but like, as for top 10, I like, again, nothing comes close to Jaws. There's nothing.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, it's tough to disagree with that, man. I mean, there's a lot of good shark movies, but none of them have like all those aspects, the little magic lightning in a bottle that Jaws has. I will say another thing with that. If you ever do make a shark movie, something I've always wanted to see was kind of what you were just harping on a little bit about, like having someone survive a shark attack laying on the beach, having like bite marks all around their like abdomen or something, and they're just like screaming in pain. Why do we never see that? Yeah. I like, the only movie that comes close to that is Piranha, and like that's not even a shark movie. I'd love to see someone like make it back to shore like just barely, with like a big chunk taken out of them, and they're just like screaming on the ocean,
dangling, you know.
Yeah, or like half of their hands bitten off or something. Yeah, like why have we never gotten that? Like that could be. Everyone's just always dragged underwater. Like let's have someone like make it back to shore and they're like half eaten. What does that look like? I would love to see that. That'd be messed up.
It'd be a cool thing to do, because of the fact that, you know, as you get closer to the shore, the water's obviously going to get more shallow. So you can make it a super tense sequence where they're trying to get back to the shore, and as they finally get into the shallow water, the shark can't quite, you know,
get in there. Yeah. That's perfect. I mean, that would be awesome.
There's a short right there, you know?
Yeah, right. Like there's that scene in Jaws where you get to see, like, he's flipping through the picture book with everything, and you kind of see the dude with like the bite taken out of him. Something like that, but like happening on screen for real. Like that would be so messed up. That would be awesome. But Extron kind of hits on this a little bit. Sharks aren't the bad guys. They just want to eat like everyone else. And yes, Jaws does inaccurately depict a lot of things about sharks. Like you were just saying, like it wouldn't actually bite off someone's leg. That's not how sharks attack. They don't even like the taste of humans. There's a lot of scientific inaccuracies with it. But I think what you were also just talking about, Carter, to kind of harp on this again, was that I think it's so scary because we didn't know too much about sharks at the time. It wasn't common knowledge. People didn't have the internets. They couldn't like go and type up, what do sharks eat? You know what I mean? You'd have to go to the library, rent a book, read. That's too much work for human beings, as we've learned for some people. So not everyone knew that. I think that's why it was so scary and so like effective at the time, because of misinformation almost. But how do you feel about that? Do you think it's much more of do you think it's more of a fear of sharks or more of a fear of the ocean in general? That works
with people, or
Jaws in general? Like, how do you think it influenced like people's fear? Is it like just you're just scared of something coming out of the water, or is it more shark centric?
I think most people coming out of this film would say it's a fear of open water, what's there, what's not there, what you don't know. Whereas I am just like, oh wow, that's a, you know, like there's some people that are going to have a phobia of bears or tigers, or, you know, they take a little kid to the zoo, a tiger screams at them, then they have a weird tiger phobia for the rest of their life. Like that's me with Jaws. Like I think sharks are fantastic. I don't want to kill sharks. Like that's one thing I have with an idea of a shark film is tackling shark poaching, where you have the poachers be the villains and then they get killed by the shark, you know, something like that, where it's because I don't know. I think again, like it needs to be something different, but
that's a really good, a really good point that you just hit on, because like that's something really popular that they'll catch sharks, they'll cut off their fins and like let them go.
Just let them go.
And it's like they'll die otherwise, and it's like why would you do that? That fucking sucks.
Yeah,
So to villainize those people, those poachers, that could be really interesting. That would be a good movie. To my knowledge, I don't even think that exists as of right now. So that could be something good. Fun fact from the Dreaming Insomniacs: a certain type of orca whale are predators for the great white shark. Ooh, so
Yes.
orcas are even scarier than great whites.
So there's also, I actually just read a story like yesterday or 2 days ago that orcas are killing great whites on the like coast of South Africa somewhere, and so the great whites are migrating away. So we don't know where they're going, but
Oh, okay. Well, that's
interesting.
hey, interesting stuff.
Real world
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, and
What about- Yeah,
I
what?
love this question. I had to throw this out there. What about a shark in Scream? Good idea or jumping the shark? Hey, let's have Ghostface push somebody into let's have a Scream movie at SeaWorld and they push somebody into
Oh
a
my
Shark
God.
Tank.
Yeah, at the Woodsboro Zoo.
Right, of course. That's conveniently there. Yeah. So I know there's an orca film. Have you ever seen that? Like from 76, I want to say. Like it's an old school orca film, I want to say.
Like a orca killer.
Orca killer whale. We have Michael talking about that, which I wanted to
Orca,
talk a little bit.
1977.
1977.
Orca,
Okay.
the killer whale. A hunter squares off against a killer whale. Yeah.
This is one of those like films that basically kind of ripped off Jaws and was kind of something weird, something crazy. So, have you ever? Is there any other like Jaws like spin-offs? Not really spin-offs, but like rip-offs, copycats. Have you seen any of those besides Piranha that you like really liked? Because this is like a really popular one that I've heard of.
Let me look up. And I'm gonna say right off the bat, no. I haven't seen any that I've really liked.
Piranha's really the only one that I really liked. I've seen like a few weird ones, but yeah, nothing really stood out. Nothing really stood out of what I've seen. There's one called like Great White or something like that, or White Shark, something like that, or I can't remember. But it's an older one too.
Look up Devouring Waves.
Devouring Waves. I like that title.
It is not a shark. Well, okay. It's part shark, part octopus.
Oh, okay. So I have Monster Shark that comes up is also the title.
Yep.
I'm
Monster
assuming.
shark, devilfish.
Oh, this looks phenomenal. This looks fantastic. We have it's some kind of creature, not quite a shark, but 1984. This looks interesting. I'll have to check this out. I bet this is something special, probably. But yes, there's a lot of copycats like that. And I think a lot of people were copying stuff from Jaws that was like they were trying to be like, oh well, this was so successful. Every little ounce of this we gotta recreate in other things, and it will also be successful. Wasn't really the case for a lot of those films, but I do think some of them, like I said, like Piranha, totally worth the watch. Totally a good time. So,
And I think after watching Cruel Jaws, I think Piranha is probably going to be the only one that I would recommend. After not even seeing any of the other ones, I'm just going to assume that they're all pretty bad, just based off of like the posters alone. They're all pretty goofy. Oh God, do you know that film with the shark where the guy drives into the mouth with the jet ski?
No, I've never seen.
No,
What?
you've never seen that?
Oh,
How have you never
that's
seen that?
that's wonderful.
Right.
That's absolutely wonderful.
Jet ski into shark.
Also, just really quick, want to talk about Alligator. Alligator is one of my all-time like favorite movies.
I added that, and I have not seen that.
Oh my God, that is so good. While you're pulling that up, I just wanted to rant about that a little bit. If you guys have not seen Alligator, what Alligator did for Alligator movies is like is equivocal to Jaws in my opinion. I just think it's so good. It's fantastic. If you guys have not seen that, it's an underrated gem. So, but you got that pulled up though, Carter?
Yeah, here we go. Let me see. Here we go.
Shark Night's also fun. Me and Carter talked about that on his page. That's one where I actually kind of I actually like that movie even with all of its faults. I still find it fun. I love all the various sharks they use in Shark Night too. I really enjoy. I enjoy all those. The cookie cutter ones in particular, I think, is scary. Even if it's a little digital, it's a little digital. But
oh, I have to. It says I'm gonna have to restart Chrome if I have to share that screen. So if you want to share it, you can.
No, you're good. What's it called?
It's just called Shark Attack 3 Megalodon, and it's you can type in guy drives jet ski into mouth.
Oh man. Oh.
It's 44 seconds long, the video that I found.
I probably will not be able to throw it onto the stream now, but I'm keeping this page open to
you should
to check it out. Oh man,
it's funny.
That's fantastic. I always love me some of that. Always love me some goofy, stupid shark moments.
I also had a
just want to say hi to Heather real quick. What's up? Howdy, hey. But what were you saying, man?
I also had a fun fact that the stunt double for Hooper inside of the cage was Dick Warlock, who plays Michael Myers in Halloween 2.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah, no, that's nuts.
Yeah,
so
fun little.
So is like yeah, so he's in the cage when they go down, right? Like, and then the shark comes and pops up. Is he the one that's also screaming? Like, you get like a close up on his face? Because I can never tell if that's Richard Dreyfuss or not.
I think that is Richard Dreyfuss, because I remember hearing that they shot at, like, extra pieces of it in a pool in California, where they just dyed the pool and then they put the tank in there. So I don't know. It could be him. Could not be him. I don't know. Maybe the scream's him. I don't know.
I've always wondered that, because like it's such a quick shot of his face. I'm like, is that
it's just
is that him?
goggles,
Right. You can't really tell. It's so obscured. Dick Warlock is also in Halloween 3. Yes. Yeah, he's one of the robots with all the goo. you know, the goo bots.
Yeah. I had a question. Is there any issues you have with Jaws, the original?
See, that's really tough, because I think there's no perfect movie, right? Like there's nothing's perfect.
Yeah, we talked about the shark, visual effects, but other than that, is there any like story beats or anything editing wise, sound wise? Again, we talked about the score. Like, is there anything that really like sticks out as like, hey, I don't like that?
Man, I mean, there's really no plot beats that I think. Everything adds to it. Everything really adds to it. The story. With like the plot beats and how it rolls and all that, there's really nothing that feels too slow or too fast. That's my biggest thing about it, is though, even like, yes, some people have a problem with the shark and how it doesn't look great. I think because of the performances and because of you have just such a well-written and plot that never feels lethargic. It never feels like you're slowing down too much. The only thing I would change, and maybe this is probably controversial, is I feel like they're on the boat for a little too long in the third act. That's maybe, after watching it for so many times, I feel like there's a little too much buildup. But the thing is it's all pretty important, though, because you get to see the relationships of all three of those characters and how they work together before they're actually thrown into the danger. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, you kind of need it. You kind of need it to understand why everyone makes the decisions they make. Because I think if you don't have Hooper and Quint going at each other's throats and making fun of each other a little bit, you wouldn't have that scene where you have Quint just running the boat to the point where it breaks. Scene wouldn't make as much sense.
No.
You know what I mean? All of that is set up for that to happen, basically. So that's why that scene feels a little, that's why that whole sequence feels a little long-winded once you finally get to the boats and them out on the water. But it needs to be. It's important, because otherwise Quint probably wouldn't have done that if you didn't get to see that back and forth. You city hands, Hooper. You need all of that. You need all that. You need all the back and forth on the boat where he's like going like this at him, know. So it's all important. But yeah, that's my one thing. Do you have any problems with it? Or
so it's weird. I don't find it as an issue, but I'm like, okay, if I had to pick an issue, I'm like, okay, I'll pick that, because it's kind of easy. There's literally one transition cut, and this was actually, it wasn't even pointed out by me, and I was kind of annoyed that I got it pointed out, but it's because I was watching Dead Meat. And so James pointed out on the Jaws kill count that there's a transition when they go from day to night, when or maybe it's from night. No, I think it's from day to night, and it's after they're doing the barrel tracking, and it goes right from the middle of Brody talking, like he's in the middle of a sentence, and then it transitions to Quint whistling at night. So other than that one transition, I'm like, okay, whatever. But I didn't notice it upon this watch. Again, I love this film, so I'm every time I watch it, I just get sucked into it, and I didn't notice it until he pointed out. So we'll see next time I'll watch it. Maybe I'll notice it and be a little annoyed, but I don't know. It doesn't really do much to irk me.
Yeah, it's not that big of I know what you're talking about. It's a little weird. Like it feels a little like
it's bizarre and like, okay.
It feels like it doesn't have a point. Like they don't have a point to do that. So like why what was the point? You almost could have just like ended the sentence. Ended the scene right before he even says anything. Just have them like staring off and then cut to or fade, have that fade transition to him whistling. Yeah, no, I feel that. I understand that. I still love Bruce the Shark. I love him too. But I just wanted to say that Spielberg may be a strange guy, but he makes a hell of a film. He is pretty strange.
Yeah.
He's some of the things he did with in some of those Indiana Jones sequels, man. Some of those choices are strange to me, but that's all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say about that. I really think Jaws is one of those like super influential films. Let's touch a little bit on the sequels though before we really start like wrapping things up here.
Yeah.
Is there anything about the sequels like let me ask you this. If you were to make a sequel to Jaws, what would conceptually be your idea? Like imagine 2, 3, 4 don't exist. You have been hired to direct and write a sequel to Jaws. What would you do after that ending?
Okay. I would not recast. That's out of the picture for me. So not a recast. I think the only way you could do it is in the third and the fourth film you have Michael, who's works at SeaWorld, and then he works as like a marine diver, biologist, whatever. How
the fuck did that happen, right?
So with that, I think I don't want to see the Brody family again, but if they were to do the Brody family again, which I think that's what a studio would allow, especially a studio like Universal, I don't see them being very lenient with what is Jaws. I think they'd be like, no, you have to have these certain things in there. So a reference to the Brodies, it'll have to have either Michael in there as like, the sheriff now, which we've already kind of seen with Sean and in Sean Brody in 4. So again, like it's things that story beats that I don't want to see again. How I think they could do it is it would just have to be a different sheriff who grew up in the time of the first film, who was in the water when Alex Kintner died.
That'd be cool. Okay.
And you could just do a completely new scene recreation where you just have a kid swimming in water at the beach. The opening of the film could be kids swimming in the water at the beach, 1975, and all of a sudden the water just starts to get bloody, and then you realize, oh, it's that scene in the water while Alex Kintner's dying, and then you flash forward to today, and somehow a new shark attack. Then go from there.
You can almost play it like your main character is like an audience member who has seen Jaws before. I'm not necessarily saying like actually that's what it is.
Yeah.
But like by doing that, what you said is like putting the audience in the main character's shoes once again, which would be nice.
Where they've seen the events before. They know what we've seen.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a really good idea, I think, conceptually. I really like that. That's something I've always felt was so strange about the sequels. Like, why does it follow the Brody kids? Like, it's not that important to follow these characters. I think it was cool in the second one when they had Chief Brody again at the helm of it. That was cool. But it just kind of felt like, man, I want to see some other people deal with this. We tried to recreate stuff from that original movie that was so cool. We brought in a new character who kind of takes Hooper's role in the second film, and it once again just doesn't feel like it feels shoehorned. You know what I mean? It feels like they shoehorned that in because it worked in the last movie. You got to find different characters and different ways to write people for everything to work. Otherwise, you're just kind of, once again, it's a victim of comparison. People are going to look at that and be like, oh, this is just the same character from the last movie, but different. So you have to find new characters. You have to find new characters with different motivations going after a shark for some reason. Yes, you probably have to have a police chief there or something like that. Another thing that's so iconic about Jaws is the back and forth, like the social political drama of trying to keep a town afloat. So you kind of have to have elements of that there too, because that's iconic. It's part of what Jaws is, part of the franchise. You have to have the town of Amity, the people going nuts, freaking out about a shark in the water. There's little things like that you would need. Those are all really good points. But Carter, we're going to be wrapping up here a little bit real soon. Is there anything that you want to plug or talk about real quick before we wrap this thing up?
No, I'm chilling. I'm happy we could talk about it. Is there I wanted to ask, is there anything cuz there's actually one plot point kind of about Jaws 2 that I found that worked, and that was the idea of Brody dealing with the trauma to where he's, ringing the bell at the beach and things like that. So like moments like that I like, but like you said, as for most of the other characters in the film, they are pretty forgettable. But other than that, I'm good with Jaws.
It's weird, right? Because I'm sorry, like you got me on this again. I think what's so strange about Jaws 2 is like, you have all these teenager characters that it centers on for the majority of the film, and they're all pretty forgettable. Like they're all like, I couldn't even tell you some of their names. I'm gonna be honest. So it's strange. It's weird that they made that decision to basically make it a slasher with a shark, opposed to like just a continuation with an, I don't know. It's weird. I gotta get off my soapbox with that, man, or I'll be talking about it all day. But everybody make sure to subscribe to Carter Scotland Allen's channel. He does pretty fantastic content over there. He talks about sharks, horror movies. He ranks stuff. I even kidnapped him for a video. It was awesome. So dude, thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out with me on the stream.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, dude. Absolutely. Thank you to everyone who came, by the way. I appreciate that. I don't get to talk about Jaws and other things like that on this page every now and then. So it's nice to do a little live stream like this. Good stuff. Thanks for everyone for coming. Peace out. And of course, don't forget to kill it out there on this 4th of July weekend.